An ordinary school janitor notices the strange behavior of a boy who never sits down. His silence hides a secret that no one wants to see, except for one person. When the authorities refuse to act, he decides to take matters into his own hands. But will he be able to save the child by breaking the rules and not lose himself in the process? Don't forget to subscribe and like so you don't miss new stories. Did you notice him? Miss Hope asked, adjusting her glasses and looking out the window into the schoolyard. Who? Miles Wallace looked up from the bucket of water. The new kid. He stands all the time, even during recess. Doesn't eat. Doesn't sit. Just stands. Like he's afraid to touch something. Owen, huh? Miles wrung out the rag. I saw him. Every day at recess against the wall. Doesn't talk. His eyes look like they're on the edge. I don't think he trusts anyone. Not even himself. I thought teenagers just didn't like benches. Miles chuckled. It's not about the benches, Miles. It's about something inside. You know how to notice that. Me? I'm just washing the floors, and you see more than half of the teachers. The next day, Miles saw the boy again, in the backyard of the school near the trash cans. He was standing with his shoulders slumped, as if he were carrying an invisible backpack of rocks. He was wearing a sweatshirt 2 sizes too big with a torn sleeve. He was whispering something under his breath. Are you okay? Miles asked cautiously, moving closer. The boy shuddered, but did not retreat. He only turned sideways, as if protecting something. Don't sit down. If I sit too long, the bruises come back, he whispered. Miles froze. The boy's voice was hoarse, as if swallowed by fear. He didn't ask what coming back meant. He just nodded. Got it. Don't sit down. But maybe you could at least have a snack. I don't want. You know, when I was your age, I thought that if I stayed silent long enough, everything would go away. But it doesn't work. And if you talk, it gets worse. Sometimes, but not always. Owen was silent. Miles took a small candy bar out of his pocket. It's not magic, but there's chocolate and peanuts inside. It helps with hunger and silence. The boy took the candy bar, carefully, as if it might explode. Thank you. I'm Miles, just Miles. I clean up here. Keep schools from drowning in trash. I know, you don't scream. Everyone else does. Because I'm listening, he said. And it's easier to listen when you're not yelling. All day, Miles couldn't get the phrase out of his head. The bruises are coming back. He saw them, not directly, but he knew. The boy didn't bend over. He didn't drop his backpack. He didn't laugh. And most importantly, he didn't sit down. Not once. That evening, as he passed an empty classroom, he saw Owen standing by the window, holding his hand on the windowsill. What are you doing here? It's light here. It's dark at home. Do you have someone to talk to? No. What if I'm just nearby? Then it won't be so scary. They stood in silence. The light outside was going out. The lamps were ringing. Only shadows remained in the school. And one boy who was afraid to sit down, and one janitor who no longer wanted to pretend that he saw nothing. I filed a report, Miles said, wiping his hands on an old rag. Last night, wrote down everything I saw. About the bruises, about his behavior, about how he was afraid to sit down. So? Miss Hope squinted, holding a cup of coffee in her hands. What did they say? We'll check. One word, no deadlines, no details. Did they at least call you back? No. But this morning in the staff room, Mrs. Collins said that the matter is closed. They must have done a survey, asked the guardians if they beat him, and they, as you can guess, said, of course not. This is absurd. Have you seen his back? I saw him hide it. That says more than the photos. And you're not going to give up? I'm a janitor, Hope. I don't have a uniform. I don't have a power badge. Just a mop and a conscience. Sometimes that's enough. More than a badge. He nodded and walked away. The rag dripped, leaving a trail behind it. It was as if he himself was spreading across the floor, dissolving between indifference and fear. After dinner, he saw Owen in the library. He was sitting on the floor, leaning against the wall, not on a chair, on the floor. Tired? Miles asked quietly, sitting down next to her. It's softer here than at home. They are again. I can't say. I was forbidden. If I tell, they'll take me away again, to an even worse place. Who forbade it? She. Aunt Karen. She said that if anyone finds out, they'll send me to the Black House. What is this? That's what they call an orphanage, where the doors have no handles, and no one comes. Owen. Miles put his hand on the floor next to him, not touching the boy. Listen, I'm not a cop, I'm not a social worker, but I'm human, and I see, and I can't stay silent. What if things get worse? And if not? If you are truly important to someone for the first time? Nobody believes me. I already said it once. In the previous house. They transferred me. And then they pretended that I made it all up. Then we'll do it differently. For real, without papers, without falsehood. I'll find a way. Why you? Because I don't want to be the adult who kept silent. The boy looked straight into the eyes for the first time, for a long time, silently. I'm afraid. Me too. But fear is not a reason to close your eyes. Later, in his closet, Miles sat with his laptop. He Googled domestic violence. What to do if the authorities don't respond? Is it possible to file a complaint with the prosecutor's office yourself? He clicked on the links, read the wording. Everything seemed confusing, scary, and formal. Damn you, he whispered. Hundreds of words, not a single action. There was a knock at the door. He quickly closed the tabs. Yes? It's me, Owen's quiet voice said. I left my notebook with you. Sure, come in. Owen walked in with his hands in his pockets. Can I ask one question? Certainly. And if you could become my dad, would you agree? Miles froze. His heart pounded somewhere deeper than his chest. If I knew that I could be good, yes. Even if I'm broken? You're not broken, Owen. You're alive, and that's a victory. Are you sure you want to do this? Miss Hope leaned over the table, her voice muffled, as if someone could eavesdrop even through the walls. "This is serious, Miles, very serious. And if I do nothing, that's serious too," he replied, not looking up from the small box containing the camera. "I bought it this morning. It starts filming automatically as soon as someone enters the area." "You want to put this where?" "In the utility room near the back entrance. He often changes clothes there. I won't take pictures of his face, just his shoulders. Just evidence." "Miles." "Hope. I saw it. This morning." He was pulling on his sweater, and there was something black on his side. Not blue, not purple. Black. This isn't just flip-flops or fell down the stairs anymore. This is systematic. It's almost an art of pain. Do you understand that if you get caught, you will lose your job? And if they don't catch him, I'll save the boy." She fell silent. Then she nodded. "I'll cover you if anything happens. But Miles, be careful." He set up the camera that same evening. His hands were shaking, his temples were pounding. Then he spent the next day counting the minutes. Owen showed up as usual, slumped, his sweater too long. He walked into the utility room, not noticing anything. 5 minutes later, he came out. He didn't say anything, but his eyes were dimmer. After class, Miles watched the footage. Slowly, frame by frame. Owen's body flashed across the screen and he froze. On his left side, a clear boot mark, with markings. He'd seen them when he worked on construction sites. A heavy boot, purposeful, forceful. He saved the recording, made a copy, then called Child Protection Services. "My name is Miles Wallace. I am a school employee. I have evidence of physical abuse of a child. The boy is Owen Fletcher." "Thank you for calling," they answered politely. "We've already checked. The family is fine. The person under guard is stable. There are no grounds for intervention." "Are you kidding?" "No, sir. Expert opinion. Risk level is low. I'll send you a video, a real one. Not papers, not surveys. Footage, date, time. Can you send a specialist?" "We can review the file, but intervention is only possible if there is a threat to life." "You are a threat if you turn a blind eye to this." He hung up. Owen came in the evening. He sat on the floor, as always. "Are you tired?" "Always." "Was it worse?" "A little. But today, he said that if anyone complained again, I would be sent to a camp for unsuitable children." "Who is this?" "Guardian, Uncle Tom. He says we're a marriage. People like me shouldn't live in ordinary houses." This is a lie. But it sounds like the truth when you hear it every day. "Owen, you should know. I'm trying to help. I filed a complaint. I have the video. I have everything. But they're slow. And if they never come, then I'll go myself." "Where?" "To where you're in pain, to take you away from there." "Is this possible?" "I don't know, but I'll do it." "Why are you doing all this?" "Because I am the adult that I lacked when I was sitting in the dark. And if you can't handle it, then at least I can say that I didn't give up. And you, that you were never alone. Ever." "Miles Wallace, you are exceeding your authority, Mrs. Collins's voice was sharp, like the snap of a ruler. You are technical staff, not a teacher, not an advisor, not a supervisor. I'm a man, he answered calmly, and I see a child being beaten, and you see papers. You can get fired for this. Did you know? I'm not one of those who thinks that being fired is the worst outcome. The worst outcome is when you did nothing. She stood up from the table, folding her arms across her chest. You know the procedure. The complaint has been filed. The conclusion has been received. The boy is safe. There's a boot mark on his rib. Do you think that's safety? If you continue to interfere, we will have to take disciplinary action. Then act. He turned to the door. But know that every day of delay may be your last. He walked out. His heart was pounding like a hammer. He knew it was stupid, risky. But keeping silent was even more frightening. Owen had been absent from school all day. No one knew why. Miss Hope just shook her head. You know, I tried calling the Child Protection Service again, she said. No luck. They wrote back saying they don't see a threat. He didn't come. This is already a threat. What are you going to do? I'll go there. Into the house? Yes. I want to see him myself, just to make sure he's alive. It's illegal. Is it legal to leave a boy with a rapist? She was silent. Then she squeezed his hand. Call me when it's all over, whatever happens. He arrived in the evening. The house was on the outskirts of town, dusty, with a broken lantern by the door, a fence with sagging mesh. Miles didn't ring the bell. He walked around the house and saw a light in a window on the second floor. A figure. Owen. He was standing by the glass like he had at school. Owen, he whispered, but the boy couldn't hear. He tapped the glass with the flashlight. 3 times. Pause. Twice. Like in the movies. Owen nodded slowly. Then he was gone. The door opened about 10 minutes later. Quietly. The boy came out barefoot in a t-shirt, clutching a bag to his chest. I don't know where to go, he said. With me. Just with me. He's not sleeping. He's been drinking. But if I don't come back, Quiet. Let's go. Now. Just go. They got into the car. Miles turned on the headlights only after turning. Are you cold? No. I'm calm. You will live with me. For now. I have a small house, bad furniture, and I am a bad cook. But there is no screaming, and no one hits. It sounds like something real, because that is what is real. At night he wrote a letter to the police, attached a video, described the conversation, admitted that he took the boy without permission. In the morning, there were 2 people standing on the threshold. One was an officer. The other was a representative of the guardianship service. You violated procedure, one said. And you remained silent, Miles replied. Do you understand what you are facing? Yes, but he's alive, and that's all that matters. Owen walked out into the hallway. He saved me, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. The silence lasted for several seconds. We have to check, the officer said. But the boy stays with you. For now. Miles exhaled. I just wanted someone to hear. We heard, finally. Do you mind if I trim the bushes? Owen asked, standing by the window with a pair of garden shears in his hands. Just don't hit your fingers. Miles wiped his hands on a towel and looked out. Although, to be honest, I like that you want to do something. That's an achievement. I'm just not used to sitting, although now I can. It's your choice. But if you want to lie on the couch, no one will judge. I tried, fell asleep, without fear. This is also an achievement. 4 months had passed since that night. The house was still modest, an old sofa, cracked laminate, the smell of tea and books. But now someone else's backpack lay on the windowsill, 2 sets of shoes stood in the hallway, and the refrigerator remembered someone else's preferences. I should have been in a shelter, Owen said that evening as they sat on the porch. But the judge said I was better off with you. He even apologized. He said that sometimes the system is slow when the heart demands speed. Did you remember? Such things are remembered. And school? Hope says I started answering without hanging my head. And once I even joked. She wrote it down in her journal as a day of great events. I'm proud of you. Me too. Miles looked at him. The boy's shoulders straightened. His eyes no longer wandered. There was air in his speech. And you, Miles, who were you before this school? A mechanic, then a laborer. Then I became the one who cleans up after others. But now, I don't know. Now I'm just with you. It sounds like a title. Maybe. I didn't think that adults could be kind without a reason. I didn't know for a long time either. They remained silent. I want to take your last name, Owen said suddenly. What? Well, if I may. Not because you should be my father, but because you have become my home, and I want it to be seen. Miles didn't immediately find what to answer. If you are absolutely sure, then let's go tomorrow and submit the application. But you choose, Wallace, with 1 L or with 2? With 2, to make it stronger. Agree. That evening, Owen sat on the floor, leaning against the couch. Miles was reading aloud from an old book, but his voice was shaking, not from old age. From something more. Miles? M? I know you're not a superhero. You don't have a costume, but you were the one who came when no one wanted to. I just heard. And that was enough. And now? Now I sit as long as I want. Because here the bruises don't come back. Only books, and tea, and you. He smiled. And for the first time, he said what he had been keeping inside all this time. I'm glad you stayed. Not just in my house, in my world.